Hi, and welcome back. This is Laura Kay coming to you from the Bocas Yoga Studio on Caribbean island off the coast of Panama. So today we're working on hip openers. Yay! So take a lovely seat, please. As you can see, I'm seated on a blanket. So have as many blankets as you need to get to a point where your knees can be relatively lower than your hips. So it's not uncommon for most people to sit and have the knees higher than the hips. So if that's your case, hey, don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Keep in mind that first principle of your yoga practice is to see your goodness first. So see yourself as full and perfect and lacking nothing, just the way that you are. So this practice today is designed to give you a little bit more freedom in your hips. So if you're not there yet, with practice, with love, with patience and compassion for yourself, eventually you will be. And so with practice, to get open hips really allows a lot more freedom in other parts of your body. So that includes your lower back. So your lower back muscle can have a lot more mobility and strength. So also to get open hips means you can eventually get more open hamstrings. So think of your hips and your pelvis as really the focal point of your body. It's right in the middle. So to create more freedom in your hips means you're going to create a lot more stability to your lower back and a lot more freedom to your hamstrings. And those are both areas that most people have complaints about either pain or tightness. So let's begin with the hips. Ideally, the knees are below the hips. Now, like I said, ideally or optimally. So that's why we use blankets. Blankets, blocks, straps, all these props are designed simply to get you into more optimal alignment. So this yoga practice is with the intent of moving towards more optimal. And that's all it is. Optimal or less optimal. If you have that choice, let's move towards optimal. And as we age, the hips tend to get super tight. So it's all the more reason to move towards optimal as we age. And age happens to everyone. I'm turning 50 this year. So if you think that you won't be needing this, you actually will. So let me at least be perhaps an inspiration to prove that you can have open hips, not just openness and freedom in your body, but also retain some strength and stability and pain-free life as you age. So this practice is really for everyone, and it doesn't matter how young you start or how old you start. It's never too late or early to start this yoga practice. So whatever you do, don't press on your knees. So if you try to get your knees below your hips by pressing on them, that actually has the adverse effect. It's called the seesaw principle. So just like a seesaw, if you press on one end, the other end is going to uproot. So if you press on your knees, you're actually going to be uprooting your groins, and that is just nasty. That's not something you want to do. We want open groins. So as you take a lovely seat, sit up nice and tall, knees below the hips. So if that means you sit on blankets to get them there, go for it. It's very, very common. Trust me, I see this every day. It's very common to have the knees above the hips. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. Always keep in mind, first principle, you are perfect and good just the way that you are. So let's reach towards more optimal. So to get the knees below the hips, grab your blankets, blocks, everything that you might need just to attain a bit more freedom in your hips. And when you have that freedom, you can really sit up nice and tall. So with your spine sitting up nice and tall, it's been shown that it reduces cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone. So not just physically, this practice is good for you mentally as well. So to be able to have this freedom in your hips, to sit up nice and tall, it reduces your stress levels. It's scientifically proven. So take a lovely seat with both hands. Manually, internally rotate each thigh bone. Now here you can see from the side view how the sacrum is tilted forward. And that's what you want. To have the sacrum tilted forward, it gives you not just freedom in your groins and hips, it gives you a nice arch to your lower back. So to have an arched lower back as you sit, it actually strengthens your back. And so that leads to no back pain. So use however many blankets you need. Now with this comfortable seat, start to move your body. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, round your upper back. And just go at your own pace of breath. Every inhalation, forward with your chest. Every exhalation, round. And just tap into this natural flow, this natural rhythm of your breath. And you can feel this fluidity in your hips as you move the rest of your body. Your sits bones stay rooted as your upper body enjoys some freedom. Now make counterclockwise circles with your chest. So always lead with your chest, your heart. Inhale forward with your heart. Exhale back. Enjoy these circles. You can feel the freedom in your hips as your butt bones stay rooted. Now reverse the direction of your circles, clockwise circles with your chest. Think of it as your chest that is doing the motion as your sits bones stay rooted into the blanket. Enjoy this freedom. It just feels good. It's a nice sensual experience to have this freedom, this fluidity, this motion, celebrating your body and mind. Inhale, reach for the sky in celebration. And exhale, hands to heart in gratitude. And after all that motion, check where your hip bones are at in relation to your knees. Then come on to hands and knees, please. Every inhalation, stick your bum up in the air. And with every exhalation, round your upper back. Every inhale, there's spaciousness and light. And with every exhalation, it's like a bow in gratitude for this life. Work your fingertips super strong into the mat. This is going to develop your wrist strength and your wrist flexibility. Your toes are tucked. Perhaps there's a blanket under your knees because you deserve comfort. Beautiful. From here, keep your left toes tucked as you step your right foot forward to the top of your mat and place both forearms down, either to the ground or take them to a block to the left of your right foot. Enjoy your breath. So your inner body is bright and your skin is soft. Turn inside and assume the best of yourself for a change. Assume the highest. And come back to hands and knees, please. I like to shake it out, wiggle it. Right toes tucked under. Step your left foot far forward to the top of your mat. Place both forearms down, either to a block or all the way to the floor to the right of your left foot. Now with each breath, allow those big muscles of your front thigh to open gently. Enjoy your breath. Allow your fingers to be relaxed and your jaw muscles are relaxed. Enjoy your breath. Choose to see your highest no matter what. And come back to hands and knees, please. Pause and feel. And come up to standing, hands on hips, elbows up to the sky. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach for your highest potential. And exhale, hands to heart. We're going to work on square hip bones. Inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, bow to the earth. If you need to bend your knees, by all means, please bend your knees. You can get a deeper stretch and your thigh bones internally rotated with your knees bent. Fingertips on the floor. So this is an internal rotation of your thigh bones. It works your groins back and apart. Every inhalation, lengthen your belly and chest forward. And every exhalation, bow, chest to knee. So without moving your feet, you work your thighs away from each other. Same in your downward facing dog. So press back into downward facing dog. Bend your knees. There the tailbone's tucked. Don't tuck it. Now stick your bum way up in the air. So again, that's the internal rotation of your thigh bone. You can see it on my shorts. It creates a spaciousness. You're trying to get that little triangle in my shorts wider. So that creates a spaciousness and openness. That's an internal rotation of your thigh bones. Hands on hips, elbows up to the sky for a strong back. Inhale all the way up and reach for your highest potential, whatever that is today for you. Exhale, bow in gratitude to the earth, plank pose. Exhale slowly down to the ground. With elbows bent, inhale cobra. With elbows bent, work your shoulders further back. Whenever your shoulders move back, your heart moves forward. Enjoy your breath. The gaze, the light of your heart shines forward. Downward facing dog, please. Press your fingertips so strong into the mat, I can't pick them up. Bend your elbows. Now work your shoulder blades in deep towards each other. Keep your shoulder blades in deep towards each other as you fully extend straight arms. Downward facing dog. Good. Step your right foot forward, up in between your hands, and pause on fingertips. Come on up to hands on your thigh. Your hip bones are square forward. They're not all crazy wonky to the side. They are pointing forward like little headlights. Shoulders back, arms up to the sky. So with your back leg as your stability, your foundation, your courage, use that strength as your hip bones are still square to open your heart higher to the sky. Exhale, lower down, plank pose. Strong wide fingertips, get into it. Exhale slowly down. Inhale, cobra with bent elbows. Do not take your legs wide. It'll mess up your back. Do not hyperextend your elbows. It'll mess up your shoulder rotator cuff. So with legs parallel, elbows bent, you get a much safer, more effective cobra. Downward dog. In your down dog, every time do that shoulder blade trick and internally rotate your thigh bones. It'll be a powerful, strong dog. Step your left foot forward, up in between your hands. Pause on fingertips. Come on up to hands on your thigh. Now as you come up, you'll notice that your hip bones are straight, square ahead. Yep, they're shining like little headlights straight ahead. Now keep your back leg strong. Take your shoulders back to open your heart. Now that it's open, yes, honey, reach for the sky. It takes effort. Think of your back leg as your courage, your strength, your foundation, so you have more freedom up top with your heart. Now this takes square hip bones. So if you're wondering why you're doing this pose on a hip opener class, it takes a lot of effort to get square hip bones. So concentrate on your back leg to give you that courage. And with every inhale, go deeper back bend, shoulders further back, heart higher to the sky. Good. Exhale, lower down to plank pose. Strong fingertips every time. Great habit for your wrists. Get into it. Exhale slowly down to the ground. And the slower you go, oh yes, the more work it is. It's worth it. Hands by your breasts. Inhale, cobra. So slide your shoulder blades down towards your bum. Your shoulders move away from your ears with elbows bent, shoulders back, chest forward. Your legs are parallel. With the light of your heart, you shine forward. Lead with love. Downward facing dog, please. Full yummy stretch. Your fingertips super strong into the mat. Good. Now with positive intent, you set this intention for your practice. As you lead with positive intent, you'll get positive results. So with love in your heart, step your right foot forward, up in between your hands, and pause on fingertips. Lower your back foot onto the mat. Now, instead of the bum sticking out, you're going to scoop your front bum cheek under. Your top shoulder blade moves back, and you get this lovely groin stretch as your front bum cheek scoops under. Now reach your left arm all the way to your ear, palm is face down. So there's a lot going on here. Your front leg wants to do all the work. Don't let it. Keep your back leg rooted and strong into the ground. That gives you a lot more freedom up top. With every inhale, lean further back with your top shoulder blade to really open your heart. Lean back so far it might feel like you're going to fall backwards. You have to use your core muscles to catch yourself. It's worth it. Sometimes we do fall backwards. That's life. We get right back up. Downward facing dog, please. Full yummy stretch. Internally rotate your thigh bones. So how you do that? You keep your feet where they are as you try to widen your thighs away from each other. That takes powerful legs. That'll get your hamstrings open, which are connected to your hips. It's all connected, body and mind. Left foot forward, up in between your hands, and pause on fingertips. Lower your back foot onto the mat. Scoop your front bum cheek under to get that lovely groin stretch in the front leg. Now lean back with your top shoulder blade. Now with top shoulder blade back, reach your top arm all the way to your ear with your palm face down. Back leg is super strong, and that means all 5 toes of your back foot are on the floor. Good. So with back leg strong, this is not a static pose. It's dynamic. Use your breath so that every inhalation you lean further back with your top shoulder blade so that your heart ultimately opens. Again, lean so far back it feels like you're about to fall backwards. You really have to use your core muscles and your legs to keep from falling back. Good. And come back to downward facing dog, please, with strong wide fingertips, so strong I can't pick them up. Every dog, make it powerful. It's not a resting pose. It's a powerful pose. That means thighs wide without moving your feet. That takes some strength. It will also lead to the opening of your hips and your hamstrings. With positive intent, step your right foot forward, up in between your hands, and pause on fingertips. Lower your back foot onto the mat. Now straighten your front leg. If you like a block for your right hand, it gives you so much more freedom in your hips. Please go for the block under your right hand. Don't stick your butt out. You're going to scoop your front bum cheek under. Now, that gives you that lovely groin stretch again. It's all connected. Take your left hand to the sky. So again, lean back so far with your top shoulder blade that it feels like you're going to fall backwards. Now, I've fallen backwards in this pose before. To fall is human, so it's all good. You are human. I am human. We just get right back up. So lean back so far that it feels like you might fall backwards. You have to use your core muscles and your strong legs to catch yourself. It's worth it because look how open the heart is. Good. And come back to downward facing dog, please. Strong fingertips every time. Internally rotate your thigh bones every dog. Good. Enjoy your breath. It's so precious. That is life emanating itself within you. Enjoy that flow of your breath. With loving intent, step your left foot forward, up in between your hands and pause on fingertips. Lower your back foot onto the mat. Now, straighten your front leg. Go for the block under your left hand. It'll give your hips a lot more freedom. And you're on fingertips here. Good. Scoop your front bum cheek under. Take your top hand to the sky. So again, you can see the back view here. Lean back with your top shoulder blade so much that it feels like you might fall backwards. Now, the front leg wants to take the brunt of the work. Don't let it. Make your back leg work stronger. That means all 5 toes of your back foot on the floor. And with every inhale, lean further back. Yes, look how open you can get in your chest, your heart, your throat, your face is ecstatic. It expresses up towards the sky. Now, it really takes the foundation of your strong legs to pull that off. Good. And come back to downward facing dog, please. And then sit on your bum. Hip opener time. Sit on a blanket if you choose. Draw your left knee so it's stacked directly over your right knee. Now, if the legs aren't vertically stacked, don't worry about it. You can always stack your blankets up under your bum and just work towards the knees over one another. It's all good. You want to have a little arch to your lower back so you can still sit up tall. You don't want to come into a fetal position. So you want to make sure that both sits bones are rooted into the earth. Now, when your left leg is over your right knee, your right arm will go over your left arm and twist your arms. Fold your hands and release. And then switch it out. And don't worry if you get the arms and legs mixed up right and left. It's not the end of the world. You know, I've tried it. The world won't end if we mix up the right and lefts. Just do your best. Just make sure that both sits bones are on the ground. That's the important part of this pose. With both sits bones on the ground or the blanket, sit up nice and tall. So with your right knee stacked over your left knee, it'll be your left arm is stacked over your right arm with your hands at your face. And just sit up nice and tall. You can see there's an arch to the low back as both butt bones are on the ground. Come up to standing so you have hands on your hips. As you internally rotate your thigh bones, elbows up to the sky, inhale up to standing. And we're going to work on square hip bones. Now, here your hip bones are square ahead. Here they're not. Here they're square. Here they're not. Nope. Going to keep them square straight ahead. Now, this takes some effort, as you'll see, but it's something you want to keep up throughout your life. I see as people age, they lose this squaring of the hip bones. So grab a windowsill, a kitchen counter, a table. Place your body in an L. Keep your right knee bent slightly. Inhale, left leg up so it's parallel to the ground. Spread your left toes. Extend out through your left heel. Now your left hip will want to ride up. Don't let it. Bring your left hip bone down so it's level with your right hip bone. Again, visualize your hip bones as headlights as they shine straight ahead. Now, bend your elbows. Rock your shoulder blades in deep towards each other. Keep your shoulder blades in towards each other as you fully extend straight arms. Now feel like you have a pencil in between your shoulder blades. Keep that pencil in between your shoulder blades as you extend straight arms. And once your arms are straight, keep them straight Now there's so much focus going on in your shoulders and your arms that your hip bones and top leg want to forget. Don't let them. Your awareness has to be everywhere. Keep your hip bones square, your top toes are spread, extend out through your top heel so the core of your pelvis is your focal point. And from that point, you shine out in both directions. Couple more breaths. It's a powerful pose. It looks simple, but it's super powerful, and you're doing great. Just give it your best effort, and you're awesome. You showed up to the mat today. That's what counts. Good. Rock it out. Couple more breaths. Beautiful. Really shine out. You can feel the power. You're like Superwoman, Superman. Exhale, lower your leg back to the floor. I like to shake it out. Yes, you got this freedom in your hips. You might as well enjoy it. Shake your booty. It just feels good. Feels good on the hips. Find that freedom and celebrate your body, no matter what it is. No matter your age, your color, your weight, where you're from. We're all human. We all deserve to feel good, body and mind. Now, keep a baby bend in your standing leg. As you inhale, right leg up, parallel to the ground. Now the right hip will want to ride up. Don't let it. Keep your right hip down so it's level with your left hip. Now bend your elbows. Shoulder blades work in towards each other. Keep your shoulder blades in towards each other as you fully extend straight arms. Now keep your arms straight. And look, it looks like you can hold a pencil in between your shoulder blades. Now, bring the awareness everywhere in your body. That means your hip bones are still square. Spread your top toes. Extend out through your top heel. So the focal point here is the core of your pelvis. And from that point, it's like a sun. And like a sun, you just shine out. You radiate out in all directions. This is your intrinsic beauty that you're shining. So this is pretty important stuff here. It's worth it. It's so expressive. It just feels good. Tap into your inner beauty with this positive attitude, this optimal alignment, and this super artistic, expressive action. Now that right there is beauty. That is you. In this way, we are all connected. Lower your leg. I like to shake it out. Yeah, wiggle the booty. It just feels good. Why not? Now, find a countertop or a windowsill or a tabletop and place your left leg on it at about hip height. Now, to square your hip bones here, look at your right second toe. Your right second toe is pointing straight towards the window. And then hop towards the window. So as you hop, your right foot might move. Check to make sure that it's still pointing straight ahead. Now, you want to keep your hip bones square. So if that means you don't come all the way to the wall, that's fine. If you are all the way to the wall, take your fingertips to the wall and then press your shoulder blades in towards each other. And that brings your chest towards the window. And then release the pose and shake it out. Other side. Hop towards the window with your left foot. Check that your left second toe is pointing straight to the window. And then it's like you try to bring your chest, your heart towards the window. Now your fingers are on fingertips, and that way you're not leaning on the wall. You have to use your arm strength here to work your shoulder blades in deep towards each other. And you get this yummy hip stretch without hunching and rounding your back. And so that's really the trick in these hip openers, to keep the back safe and strong and your hips open and free. So you're going to do another one on each side. I wanted you to see the side view of this. So the right second toe points straight towards the window, and then you, with fingertips, you work your chest towards the window. Now the chest goes towards the window, not because you're bending over, it's because your shoulder blades are working in towards each other. Shake it out, and then other side. So hop towards the window with your second left toe pointing straight towards the window. Hip bones are square. That means they're not wonky all out to the side. They're both shining equally at the window. Work your shoulder blades in towards each other with strong arms to get your heart open. Stand with square hips. Here's wonky hips. Here's square hips. Here's wonky hips. We like square hips around here. Inhale up. Yeah. Gonna balance. Draw your left leg over your right thigh, above your ankle. Press your left big toe into your index finger on your right hand. Use your left hand to press your left thigh towards the floor. Don't press on your left knee. Never press on your knee. It's just bad in so many ways. Trust me. Press into your thigh towards the ground. So here you're getting a lovely hip opener and balancing at the same time. Inhale up and exhale, hands to heart. Other side with square hip bones. Draw your right leg over your left thigh, above your ankle. Press your right big toe into your left index finger. Use your right hand to press your right thigh towards the floor as you sink down. So not only are you getting a yummy hip opener, you're balanced, you're focused. And to wobble is human, so allow yourself to wobble. Life is good. Good. All right. Now here you go. Another balancing hip opener. Left leg over your right thigh. Bend your knees. Now just like you did when you were seated, it'll be the opposite arm that goes over the other arm. So if it's left leg over your right thigh, it's right arm over your left arm. And you start to sink down. Notice there's an arch to the low back, so you're not hunched forward. You never want to hunch forward. That can cause back injury. As much as you want your hips open, you want an arched back. You want that freedom of open groins. Good, and release. Pause and feel that. It just feels good to have your hips open. It creates so much freedom. Your hip bones are square. Good. Get ready to balance as you spread your toes on your bottom foot. Right leg drapes over your left leg, and you can even hook your left foot behind your right calf. And then fold your arms. So it's right leg over the left arm over the right. Allow yourself to wobble. The trick to these balancing poses is to not to overcompensate. It's like driving on ice. Thank goodness we don't have ice here in Panama. But I remember driving on ice. If you overcompensate, you crash. So allow yourself the wobbles. That is human nature. You are human. So am I. Give yourself a break. Allow yourself to wobble and enjoy this freedom in your hips, this strength in your back, and this focus in your balance. Inhale up, reach for the sky in celebration. Yes, it just feels good. Enjoy your breath. All right, so we're going to come on down to the ground now for some more play. Yes, yoga is mindful practice. It's also a playful practice. So come on down to the floor with bent knees. Use your arm strength to lower yourself down to the floor, and then eventually come onto your back. Now arch your low back so much, that you can see that light in the arch of the back. Keep your right leg on the ground strong as you take your left foot. It looks like a happy baby pose on one side. So your left arm is on the inside of your left knee. The hand wraps around the outside of your left foot. Your left shin is vertical. Your left foot stands on the ceiling. Now your right leg will want to uproot. Don't allow it. Keep your right leg strong on the ground. Spread your right toes, extend out through your right heel. Now you feel this lovely groin stretch on the left side. It can be intense, Allow yourself some nice long deep breaths into it. Check the facial expression. Your jaw muscles are relaxed. Your forehead is relaxed. And release. Pause and feel the yumminess. Send yourself some compassion to your pelvis. You deserve it, I am sure. Arch your low back so much that your left thigh stays strong on the ground as you take your right foot, arm on the inside of your right knee, hand wraps around the outside of your right foot, and your right shin is vertical like the four walls around you. Keep your left thigh on the ground strong. Spread your left toes, extend out through your left heel as you enjoy this right groin stretch. With your jaw muscles relaxed, take some nice long deep breaths into it. With each breath, allow your groin to soften, to open gently. Enjoy your breath. Beautiful. Check in with yourself and release. Yeah, nice. Shake it out. Pause and feel. Develop this awareness of your body and mind. Left leg over your right thigh. Clasp your hands behind your right thigh. Now, as much as you draw your right thigh in deep towards your chest, use the strength of your left forearm to press your left thigh further away from your chest. Keep your toes active. As you spread your toes, your leg muscles stay active. It protects your knee. Every exhale, give yourself a deeper hug. You deserve it. Now, this is a great hip opener, and the more you really work your left thigh away from your face, you'll enjoy that nice, juicy hip opening. Give yourself a hug. On the exhale, hug deeper. Yes. Beautiful with active toes. Feel that beautiful hip stretch right there. Yup, that's the spot. So good. You can even do this sitting in an airplane. If you have a long flight, you can do this sitting up. It's the same pose, you're just seated. And it's quite nice. And it doesn't matter what people think of you. What matters is how your body and mind feels when you walk off of that plane. And release. Pause and feel the difference in your yummy hips. Yes, they are quite feeling yummy right now. Shake it out. It feels good. Other side. Right leg over your left thigh, above your ankle. So there's no pressure on your ankle. Clasp your hands behind your left thigh. On the exhale, draw your left thigh in deep towards your chest. Keep your toes active. Yup. Now, as much as you draw your left thigh in deep towards your chest, use your right forearm to press your right thigh further away from your chest. Now, you have the power to go deeper. When I teach yoga class, people love it for me to come around and press on their thigh. You have the power to do it yourself. You really do. Use your arm strength to draw your left thigh in towards your chest, your right forearm to press your right thigh further away from your chest. Now check in with your facial expression. Just allow it to be, if you don't have a happy face, that's fine. How about a neutral face? Your forehead's relaxed, your jaw is relaxed. Life is good. Every exhale, it's like you embrace yourself deeper. Truly embrace the beauty that is you. Good. Inhale, release. Pause and feel. Come back to positive attitude, a heart full of gratitude. Bend both knees. Roll to one side. Use just your arm strength to press yourself up to seated. All right, here we go. We're going to work on some square hip bones, and that's where it's at. If you want open hip bones, it really does help to be able to have square hip bones. It's all connected. So come into a downward facing dog, please. So you start in a plank to get your stance, and then you press back, downward facing dog. So here comes the lesson on the square hip bones again. With your fingertips strong, inhale, left leg up to the sky, one-legged dog. Now here, the left hip will want to ride up towards the sky. Now that's a wonky hip bone. We don't want wonky hip bones, we want square ones. So bring your left leg back down, your left hip bone back down, so it's level with your right hip bone. Like your hip bones are square headlights and the headlights are shining straight ahead. Nice. Spread your top toes, extend out through your top heel, really reach with these lovely square hip bones. Life is good. Exhale, lower your left foot back to the floor. Reset your foundation, your strong wide fingertips into the mat. Inhale, right leg up to the sky, one-legged dog. Now, keep your hip bones square. The right hip will want to ride up. You're not going to let it. Bring your right hip. There it goes. It's going up. Now you're going to add some discipline to this. The hips are a little bit too free here. So add some discipline. Bring your right hip bone down so it's level with the left. Hip bones are square. Exhale, lower your leg back to the floor. Downward facing dog. Here's what you've been leading up to, pigeon preparation pose. Here it comes. Give it your best effort and you're perfect. There's going to be some options, so don't feel you have to take every option. Inhale, left leg up to the sky with square hip bones. Now keep your hip bones square. That's the key to this whole pose. You keep your hip bones square. As you slowly exhale, lower your left knee down to the mat, to the top of the mat. Now, if you like a blanket under your left hip bone, go for it. You can have blankets, blocks under your left hip. It's all good. This will facilitate square hip bones. And so here you go. With square hip bones, there's a tendency here to the hip bones to go out to the side. Don't allow them. Keep them straight ahead. Keep your back leg straight out behind you with the toes tucked. Now your right foot can be forward or you can bring it in towards the groin. I kind of like it in towards the groin. It helps to keep the hip bones from going wonky. You want to keep the hip bones straight ahead. So if you can't see your hips, you can see your breasts. They're more or less straight ahead as well. On fingertips, powerfully walk your shoulders back. So when your shoulders move back, your heart opens. You come into a deep back bend. Now it's fine to stay there. You have the option to take your right foot. It's fine to stay there. You have the other option to also take your left hand to the sky. Now it's like you scissor your inner thighs, your upper thighs together to stay upright. Bring your fingertips back down to the ground. Check that your back leg is still straight out behind you. Back knee is on the ground. Toes are tucked. Extend out through your back heel as you walk very slowly on fingertips forward, chest towards your floor. Now, just like you did at the window, the elbows and armpits are lifted so that your shoulder blades work in towards each other. And this allows the heart to really melt and open towards the floor. This takes the foundation, the strong back leg, and also keep your front foot active. You spread your front toes. Everything is active. There's nothing passive or yin or lazy about this pose. Inhale back up. You have power and freedom. Express it up towards the sky. Yes. Exhale, hands to heart, and then come back to downward facing dog. Full stretch. Enjoy your breath. It's so precious. Right leg up to the sky with square hip bones. Keep your hip bones square. Exhale, lower your right knee down and forward to the top of the mat. Place the blanket or block underneath your right hip. Now this just helps to be more accessible to have square hip bones. You want them to shine straight ahead. Now the hip bones will want to go all wonky to the side. Check that your back leg is straight out behind you. Don't allow the hip bones to go all crazy to the side. Nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Hip bones are square straight ahead. Chest is straight ahead. Now, fingertips to the floor. You have the option to take your left hand to your left foot. You also have the option to take your right hand to the sky. Now again, these are options. If you don't take the hand or foot, you can always do fingertips on the ground to work yourself into a deep back bend. Back bend just means shoulders back, heart open. Life is good. Give yourself credit for showing up to the mat today. You deserve self-love. Good. Now, come back down to the ground with your fingertips. Your back leg is still on the ground with your back knee. Back toes are tucked. Extend out through your back heel. Work your shoulder blades in deep towards each other. So on fingertips, your elbows are bent. That way your arms have to work. They have to be engaged. Your back muscles have to work. That protects your back. You keep a safe, strong back. Your shoulder blades in towards each other as your heart melts and opens towards the floor. As you inhale back up, slowly walk your fingertips back, and then take a seated position with wide legs. Now, you don't have to do the splits. In fact, we're not even going to do the splits. That's in the next class, by the way. So, go to where is your widest potential. So you're going to see where your widest potential is, and then you're going to shorten that stance. So we want to shorten the stance to create more freedom in the hips. So a lot of times you can create more freedom by not trying to go so extreme. I know that's a foreign concept, right? You don't have to go all crazy extreme. Internally rotate each thigh bone. Spread your toes. Extend out through both heels. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, bow, right hand to left foot. Now your right hand can be holding a strap here. To reach your left foot, that's fine. You can have a blanket under your bum as well. Left fingertips are on the floor, so you get a twist. So your left armpit rises away from the floor as your right armpit goes closer towards the floor. Now with every exhale, bow a bit deeper, chest to knee. So again, everything is working. Your arms are working. Your legs are working. Your back muscles are working. There is nothing passive about this pose. Inhale back up with a strong back and strong legs. Check that your thighs are still internally rotated. Sit up tall on the inhale. And on the exhale, bow forward, left hand to right foot. Now your left hand can hold a strap if you choose. Place your right hand on the floor on fingertips to the right of your right foot. That way your right armpit lifts away from the floor as your left armpit goes closer towards the floor. This means you have to work your shoulder blades in deep towards each other so your back is strong, your heart is open and melting towards your right knee. Keep your legs active and strong. You spread your toes, extend out through both heels. So you have this beautiful, strong foundation in your legs. Your sits bones are firmly onto the ground or the blanket, and that keeps you safe. Ultimately, it keeps you safe in your back, gets you open in your hips and your hamstrings. So sometimes it's more accessible to use the blanket and the straps to have this optimal alignment so that your pose is a lot more effective. And that's what we're going for. We're going for effective. Yes, effective just feels good. Yes, it does. Take a nice seat. Place a blanket or 2 or 3 under your bum. Internally rotate each thigh bone. Use both hands to pick up each thigh and turn it inwardly. Spread your toes to keep your legs strong. Inhale, sit up tall with an arch to your low back. Sit up tall. Exhale, bow forward, chest towards your knee. Now you can use either a strap to reach your feet or your hands. If you do reach your hands all the way to your feet, make sure you have enough room to bend your elbows. So as you bend your elbows and armpits lift, that means your back muscles have to work. Most injuries in yoga occur in a forward fold, so it is absolutely essential that you have working back muscles as you forward fold. If a strap is the more compassionate choice for your back, please use the strap. Please use the blanket under the bum. Again, you want to work towards holding that pencil in between your shoulder blades. So your elbows and armpits lift. You have a strong back as you inhale back up. Lovely. Yes, that felt so good. So you're going to get ready to come back onto your back with knees bent. Use your hands to just walk yourself down to the ground. So you come onto your back, please, into reclined bound angle pose. There is an arch to the lower back here. So you can have a block under each knee here. Have your feet together. It's a groin opener. So if a block under each knee facilitates a more passive, here you do want to come into a restorative pose. This one is kind of passive. You're cooling down now. So we don't want the groins to tense up. So if you feel like your knees are rising up, allow them to just rest on a block under each knee so that your pelvis can be heavy into the support of the earth. Already, get ready for your cool down. Have your arms out to the side with the palms faced up. Your eyes are closed as you come into a very well-deserved Shavasana. Just kind of shake your body out so that your legs can just now finally be passive and heavy. Allow your legs to be heavy into the support of the earth. With your eyes gently closed, turn inside and really choose to see your beauty first. Choose to see your goodness before anything else. Allow your arms to be heavy with the palms of your hands faced up and your fingers totally relaxed. Your inner body is bright and your skin is nice and soft. Allow your face, your forehead especially, to be smooth and peaceful with relaxation. With every slow exhalation, feel a release in your jaw muscles. The upper and lower rows of teeth will lightly separate. Enjoy your breath. Keeping your skin soft, start to expand the beautiful light that is you. Allow it to shine from your core, from your very middle, out in all directions. Keeping your skin soft, start to expand your rib cage and your precious lungs to receive a deeper breath, a fuller breath, and allow each breath to fill you on all sides everywhere. Feel how this breath is the life force, this universal life force that really connects us all. This is life manifesting itself in you. Receive and welcome this breath in and out as you visualize the breath moving through you. Perhaps you can even feel your inner heartbeat. This is a pulsation, a vibration that is in everything in the universe, right down to the cells in your body. Feel how it's connected to the ebb and flow of your breath, the beating of your heart, the pulsation, the vibration of even sound waves. Everything is vibrating, pulsating with this precious life force. Allow your skin to be soft and you feel open and receptive to this precious life force as it flows within and without you. This gentle feeling of relaxation and peace that comes as the energy that you opened up through your practice today flows freely through your body. Enjoy your breath. Keeping your skin soft, start to bring subtle movement back to your body with fingers and toes. Just very gently wiggle fingers and toes. And then very gently rotate your ankles and wrists. Rotate them in one direction very slowly and methodically. And you develop this awareness. The slower you move and gentler you move, it actually takes more control and you become more aware of every little part of your body and mind. Now start to rotate your ankles and wrists in the opposite direction. So you bring this fluidity and this symmetry to all parts of your body. Know that every joint, every finger, every toe, every molecular structure of your body is precious and deserves not only freedom, but strength. A combination of effort and surrender. If we move too much in one direction, it can be not such a good thing. So that's why we call it yoga practice. So we do develop this awareness of effort and surrender in every part of our bodies and our minds, and see how it's all connected. And then the real challenge is to take this lesson and apply it to the world that lives off of the mat. And that's the real challenge, to lead with an open heart. And that begins with yourself, to find this self-compassion, this self-love, to recognize that you do deserve happiness. You are worthy of respect and all the abundance in your life. And it takes courage to stand up for this, to realize this. It also takes a certain amount of vulnerability to recognize that you are worthy of love. Keeping your skin soft, very gently start to bend one knee. And notice there's still an arch to the back here. And the back muscles aren't even really working. It's just from that long practice of developing the arch. Then gently bend your other knee. And with both knees bent, roll to one side. And with that lovely deep little arch to your lower back, rest your head on your arm and breathe into your heart. Place both hands on the floor and use just your arm strength to press yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. Sit on your blanket. After all that work, internally rotate each thigh bone again, and then just check in where your knees are in relation to your hips. Choose to see nothing but your goodness no matter what. Inhale up, greet the sky, greet the sunshine, greet the universe. It's within you. Exhale, hands to heart. See your goodness. Namaste. Gracias. Dankeschön.